All parties in the matter of Sardin versus Williams. Step forward.
22-year-old Latrey Sardin is suing his former friend, 20-year-old Jonathan Williams, for totaling his car.
Let me understand this, Mr. Sardin. A year and a half ago, you bought a car.
Correct.
And you did some work on the car.
Correct.
And then, did you lose your license?
Correct. Yes, I did.
When did you lose your license?
It was around June or July.
Of last year?
Yeah.
Well, you bought the car after you lost your license?
No, it was before.
How much before?
It's probably about a year.
Well, that's not what your complaint says. Your complaint says in the summer of 2015, I purchased a 1994 Honda Accord.
Correct.
Well, if you purchased it a year before you lost your license, that would have been 2014.
2015 was when the title was transferred into my name. The previous owner was Michael, which was my goddad, and I was driving the car to get us back and forth to work because he had a suspended license as well. And then
It gets to be too complicated for me. So this is what the case is about. Very long time ago, you purchased a car. You had no license. You let your friend drive the car.
Correct.
Your friend had an accident in the car.
Correct.
On what date?
I can't recall the specific
month.
Somewhere around August, around my birthday.
August of 2015.
Correct.
You borrowed the car, had an accident. You gave him some money for the car.
I did.
$1,300.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you give him the $1,300?
It was paid $200 monthly anytime I was working.
When did you finish or make your last payment to him?
January
of this year?
I believe so.
Now, after you had the accident in August of 2015, where did the car go?
Towed to my mother's house.
You had it towed?
Yes, ma'am. He couldn't get it towed to his apartment because the vehicle was non-running.
And how long did you keep the car at your mother's house?
At least 5-6 months it was sitting there.
During that time, were you in touch with the plaintiff?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what did you do with the car?
I ended up selling it because after the 5-6 months it was sitting there, my mother said she didn't want it to be stored.
You ended up selling it to whom?
A Joe.
How could you sell it if you didn't have the title?
He was buying it for parts.
How much did you sell it to Joe for?
$300.
Did you give that $300 to the plaintiff?
No. No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
Someone working at the time.
I don't care whether you were working or not. You sold it for an additional $300. Was that after you had finished paying him in January?
Mm-mm.
You sold the car before?
Yes.
Okay. You want $5,000?
I want $4,500.
That's not happening. That's not happening. You wanted the car, you should have made arrangements to go and get it. You can't leave it in his house, in his mother's house for 6 months. Impossible. He paid you $1,300. He has to give you the other $3 because he actually sold your car for parts. Mm-hmm. But you said to him in your complaint, which is what you swore to, you said to him, I want to take some parts out of the car. That's what you said to him.
Yes.
Well, you should have done so in a reasonable period of time. She doesn't have to store your car in her house.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. We're finished.